Good evening, you're watching the evening bulletin of Northeast Wave Shots with me Pratima Sharma. Here are the headlines. Starting off with the national news. Over 95 crore COVID-19 vaccine doses administered so far, recovery rate nears 98%. Prime Minister Modi to launch Indian Space Association via video conferencing at 11 am. He will also interact with representatives of the space industry on this landmark occasion. Indian Space Association is the premier industry association of space and satellite companies which aspires to be the collective voice of the Indian space industry. Echoing the Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, ISPA will help in making India self-reliant, technologically advanced and a leading player in the space arena. ISPA is represented by leading homegrown and global corporations with advanced capabilities in space and satellite technologies. PM Modi to launch first ever National Infrastructure Master Plan PM Gati Shakti on 13th of October. Pradhan Mantri Gati Shakti scheme is aimed at giving a foundation for holistic infrastructure and an integrated pathway to the economy. It will help the country's local manufacturers turn globally competitive. The new initiative worth over 100 lakh crore rupees will also bring employment opportunities to the youth. Railways has successfully operated two long-haul freight trains, Trishul and Garuda, for the first time over South Central Railway. Long-haul trains, which are twice or multiple times longer than the normal composition of freight trains, provide a very effective solution to the problem of capacity constraints in critical sections. Railway Ministry said Trishul is the first long haul of South Central Railway comprising of 3 freight trains of 177 wagons. This train was started on 7th of this month from Kondapali station of Vijayawada division to Khurda division of East Coast Railway. The ministry said South Central Railway followed it up with running of yet another similar one named Garuda on 8th of this month from Raichur of Guntakal division to Manguru of Secunderabad division. A public sector bank was forced to withdraw a dress code circular for its employees for the Navratri celebrations after a strong protest from the bank employees union and censure on social media. Jammu and Kashmir security forces have detained over 700 people and Jammu and Kashmir in response to killing of 7 civilians, including those from the Kashmiri Pandit, Sikh and Muslim communities in 6 days. 3-time legislator and the longest-serving provincial president of Jammu and Kashmir National Conference in Jammu, Devender Singh Rana on Sunday resigned from the primary membership of the party along with another leader, Surjit Slatia. Karnataka, an earthquake of 3.0 magnitude was recorded in Kalaburgai on Sunday. The Karnataka State Natural Disaster Monitoring Center KSNDMC said the earthquake was felt 2 km northeast of Kodadur in Kalgi Taluk of Kolaburagai district at 6:05 am. Kannada actor Satyajit passed away at the Bowring and Lady Curzon Hospital in Karnataka's Bengaluru. Originally named Said Nizamuddin, the actor began his journey in the film line as an antagonist. Satyajit has acted in over 600 films. He was 72 years old. A union of traders in Maharashtra has objected to the state government calling a band today in protest against last week's violence in Uttar Pradesh Lakhimpur Kheri, where 4 farmers were among 8 people killed. Orissa BJP's chief whip in the Orissa Assembly Mohan Charan Mazi had a narrow escape on Sunday when 2 unidentified miscreants hurled bombs at his car in Keonjhar district. The brother of Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has been summoned again by the Enforcement Directorate for questioning in a case of illegal export of fertilizer. Agrasen Gehlot has been told to come to the Probe Agency's office in Delhi. Tamil Nadu, a preliminary flood alert was sounded on Sunday by authorities to people living close to the banks of Kosasthalia River in Tribhular district as a nearby Pondi Reservoir is expected to reach its full capacity. Telangana and Uttarakhand have become the first states in the country to introduce mobile court units to allow witnesses and victims, including women and children, to record evidence from remote locations under circumstances which do not permit them to appear before court in person. 3 candidates with the name of E. Rajender have filed their nomination papers to contest in October 30 bypoll to the Hazurabad Assembly constituency apart from BJP candidate Itala Rajender. Justice Satish Chandra Sharma has been appointed Chief Justice of the High Court of Telangana. The union government notified his appointment on Saturday after President Ramnath Kovind endorsed the recommendation of the Supreme Court Collegium. Bollywood. The Narcotics Control Bureau has recorded the statement of Bollywood superstar Shah Rukh Khan's driver in connection with the seizure of drugs from a cruise ship off the Mumbai coast. Coming to the defense news. The Indian Navy would be participating in the second phase of multilateral maritime exercise Malabar along with the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, Royal Australian Navy and the United States Navy. The exercise is being conducted in the Bay of Bengal from 12th to 15th of this month. First phase of the exercise was conducted in the Philippines Sea from 26th to 29th of August. The Indian Navy's participation includes INS Ranvijay, INS Satpura and a submarine. The Malabar series of exercise, which began as an annual bilateral naval exercise between India and the US in 1992, has seen increasing scope and complexity over the years. 13th round of India-China military talks. India on Sunday pressed for an early disengagement of troops in the remaining friction points in eastern Ladakh at the 13th round of military talks with China that lasted for around 8.5 hours. The talks took place in the backdrop of two recent incidents of attempted transgressions by the Chinese troops, one in the Barahote sector of Uttarakhand and another in the Tawang sector in Arunachal Pradesh. Border standoff between Indian and Chinese militaries erupted on 5th of May last year following a violent clash in Pangong Lakes area. Coming to the international news. Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan will be paying an official visit to New York from 11th of October. During the 3-day visit, Mr. Muralidharan will represent India at the UN Security Council High-Level Open Debate on Peace Building and Sustaining Peace. The UN Security Council High-Level Meeting is convened by Kenya, which holds the presidency of UN Security Council in the month of October and will be chaired by the Kenya President Uhuru Kenyatta. Government allows export of Russia's Sputnik Light vaccine manufactured in India. Sputnik Light is the same as component 1 of the Russian vaccine Sputnik. Let's move on to the world news now. South Korea's ruling Democratic Party has selected the governor of Gyeonggi Province, Lee Jae-myung, as its candidate for the presidential election next March. 16 people were killed after an aircraft carrying parachutes crashed in central Russia on 10th of October. The Il-410 plane carrying 22 people crashed during a flight over the Republic of Tatarstan. The government of Bangladesh is planning to set up its second nuclear power plant in the southern region of the country. Roppur is the first nuclear power plant of Bangladesh being built with financial and technological support from Russia. The 2,400 megawatt Roppur nuclear power plant is expected to become functional by 2024. At least 2 children killed, 3 injured in bomb blast in Balochistan's Hosab. So far, no one has claimed responsibility for the blast, while an investigation is underway. Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bakir Kalibaf condemns the recent attack in a mosque in Afghanistan's Kunduz and asks authorities to punish those behind the tragic incident that killed over 100 people and injured many. Australian children as young as 5 could be eligible for coronavirus vaccine before the end of 2021 as the country continues to battle the third wave of the pandemic. Coming to the sports news. T20 World Cup, ICC announces prize money. The ICC said that the winners of the T20 World Cup will take home a check of $1.6 million while the runner-up will get half that amount. Indian athletes bagged all the medals in the 4 events on the final day of the ISSF Junior World Championship in Lima, Peru. In the medal standings, India finished at the top with 40 medals in total, including 16 gold, 15 silver and 9 bronze. The second place in the medals tally went to the USA with 21 medals that included 7 gold, 8 silver and 6 bronze medals. Coming to the end, let's look at the COVID update quickly. India reports 18,132 new COVID-19 cases, lowest in 215 days. Daily deaths dropped below 200. Active COVID-19 cases in the country declined to 2,27,347, the lowest in 209 days. Over 8.43 crore COVID-19 vaccine doses still available with states, UTS says Union Health Ministry. With this, we come to the end of today's news bulletin. Keep watching Northeast Wave Shots. We are also available on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. This is me, Pratima Sharma, signing off for today. Good night.